You've probably spent a lot of time scrolling through endless spec sheets hoping to find that one camcorder that just works, that won't make you waste a single minute of a shoot because you're fiddling with menus or fighting with focus. In the real world, the camera you buy has to be reliable enough to sit in a backpack for a day-long shoot, easy enough to operate with one hand while you're narrating, and worth the money when the footage finally lands on the edit timeline. That's why I'm taking a close look at the Canon XA60 Professional UHD 4K Camcorder Lens Kit, because choosing a 4K camcorder isn't just about numbers, it's about how it behaves when you actually press record. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about who this camera is really built for. If you're a hobbyist who only occasionally shoots family events, you probably don't need the full-frame 4K workflow and the built-in ND filter that this camcorder offers. On the other hand, if you're a freelance videographer, a small business content creator, or a documentary-style storyteller who needs a portable system that can handle both indoor interviews and outdoor run-and-gun shoots, the XA60 hits a sweet spot. It's not a cinema-grade camera, but it's definitely a step above the average consumer camcorder that struggles with low light and shaky hands. One of the biggest concerns people have with any 4K camcorder is autofocus reliability. In the field, you rarely have the luxury of waiting for the focus ring to lock perfectly. The XA60 uses Canon's dual-pixel CMOS AF, and from what I've seen in demo footage, it tracks moving subjects with a confidence that feels almost cinematic. When you're in a crowded street market and you want to capture a vendor's hands while they're arranging produce, the AF locks on quickly and stays locked even as you pan. That kind of reliability reduces the number of retakes dramatically, which is a real money saver for anyone billing by the hour. Low-light performance is another practical hurdle. Many camcorders claim to be 4K capable, but they flood the image with noise when the lights dim. The XA60's 1-inch sensor, paired with its f/2.8 lens, does a respectable job at about 30 lux. In a dimly lit CAF interview, the footage still looks clean enough that I didn't have to resort to heavy post-production noise reduction. You'll notice a slight grain when you push ISO past 3200, but that's the trade-off for a compact size. If you regularly shoot in concert venues or nighttime events, you might still need an external light source, but for most indoor talkshouse setups the built-in performance is solid. Stabilization can make or break handheld shooting. The XA60 features a 5-axis optical image stabilizer that really shines when you're walking through a location with a gimbal-free setup. I tested it by walking a slow pace while recording a walkthrough of a historic building. The footage stayed smooth, without the jitter you often see in cheaper cams, and the built-in steady shot mode kept the horizon level even when I tilted the camera to get a low angle. That means you can get away with a handheld rig for many run-and-gun scenarios, saving you the expense and bulk of a separate stabilizer. Now, let's get into the actual workflow. The XA60 has a fully intuitive touchscreen and an electronic viewfinder that you can flip up for bright sunny days. The menu system is organized around 3 main modes: shoot, record, and stream. When you tap shoot, you're essentially in a preview mode that lets you adjust exposure, white balance, and focus before you actually press record. That pre-record workflow is helpful when you're setting up for a product demo and you need to nail the lighting first. The record mode is straightforward: press red, and the camcorder handles everything from bitrate selection to audio level monitoring automatically. For live streaming, the XA60 can output a clean 4K feed over HDMI, which works nicely with platforms like YouTube or Twitch without needing a separate capture card. Battery life is a practical point that many reviewers skim over, but it matters when you're on a location shoot with limited charging options. The XA60 uses Canon's LP6N battery, which gives you roughly 2.5 hours of continuous 4K recording. That's less than an hour of extra recording compared to older models, but the camcorder also has a USB-C charging port that lets you power it from a portable power bank while you shoot. In my test, I connected a 20,000 mAh power bank and got an additional hour of runtime without any overheating. If you plan on a full day of shooting, bring a spare battery or a power bank. Nothing's wrong with the camera's power management, it's just the nature of high-resolution recording. Lens flexibility is part of the appeal of the XA60 kit. The bundled 4.533mm lens gives you about a 30 optical zoom, which translates to roughly 24 to 350mm in 35mm terms. That range covers wide-angle establishing shots and tight close-ups without changing lenses. The lens also